All right, we're starting. Phil, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we'll get going. Hope everybody's having a good summer so far. I know we missed a couple months because of construction at the Eastgate offices, but let's go going on. As we begin the meeting, let's start with Stephanie, the Environmental Program Manager for Eastgate, and give us an update of some of your happenings.
Kevin, good
Yes.
evening, everyone. It is so good to see and see those who are on and see the names of people who are joining our meeting as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And all right. So I am going to give everybody some updates on what's happening in the environmental department. We've got a couple things, major projects that are going on, and one is a continuation from last year, which is a dam removal project, and this time it's outside of the Mahoning River corridor. We are transitioning over into Little Yankee Run, which is in Trumbull County, and it's closer to the PA border, but there's a low-head dam that is associated with Elwood Aluminum, and we've been in contact with them for many years, as well as with the city of Hubbard and Hubbard Township over this dam removal project. And again, well, the reason why we want to remove it is because, like all the other dams that have been in the Mahoning River, it is an impairment to water quality. And one thing that's important to note, excuse me, about water quality is that it's not just dependent upon the chemical components to water quality, but also the habitat, which is the rocks that are lining the bottom of the stream bed, the trees, the riparian area alongside the river. Those are all part of the habitat, but also the bugs and the fish. So keep that in mind as we move forward and talk about this dam. So the total project cost to remove this dam is a little over $4.3 million. Eastgate received $2.6 million from ODNR's H2 Ohio Rivers Initiative program, and this has afforded us the ability to sign on a criteria engineer to help us move this project along and to take care of all the heavy legwork for it. So we received that back in March. We signed an agreement, and we're still left with about 1.7 million to fill in a gap for. So the next step that we are taking is nominating this project again for WRRSP, which is the Ohio EPA's Water Resource Restoration Sponsorship Program. And it's a yearly nomination. If you remember last year, we nominated it, but we did not receive the funding. We were very, very, very close to receiving it, just inches away, but because of factors outside of our control and the competitiveness of this nomination, it wasn't, we didn't make the cut. But this year, we're going into it with over half of the cost of the project being funded through another program. And fingers crossed, nominating this project again, submitting it on August 15th. Fingers crossed we get the nomination. And we'll know that towards the end of the year. So where are we now? Right now, Eastgate is the project manager for this project. We are submitting the nomination form to the Ohio EPA. The city of Hubbard is going to be the contract holder for this. So therefore, they're going to work closely with MS Consultants, who was our criteria engineer that we hired. And the city had passed a resolution to be able to hold this contract. So before you today is a General Policy Board Resolution 20-2026. Oh my gosh, I have 2006. Wow. Meant to say 2026. And this is just the request for us to nominate this project to Ohio EPA's program. But moving forward, one of the greatest things we have moving into this project is the fact that we got a lot of the pre-design and stream monitoring, mapping components done last year. This time last year, we had a sediment analysis done of this pool stretch. We had many other things that, if and when we get the additional funding, we can continue to move forward. So the 2.65 million that we got from the H2 Ohio program is really going to move us into past the design phase and at least into the start of the sediment dredging component. So the WRRSP funds will fill the gap that we will need to continue the sediment dredging, as well as the dam deconstruction and stream restoration. So moving forward, what we're going to be doing is, like any dam removal project, we are going to be soliciting for RFQs and then RFPs for qualified design build teams. So that solicitation will probably start around, I'm hoping, at the end of the month, but we will post that on Eastgate's website when we're ready to move forward. And in the meantime, as we go through that initial process and, select the design build team and start designing this project, we're going to await the Ohio EPA's decision for this WRRSP nomination. But like I said, with the H2 Ohio funds we received, we are able to move forward in a timely fashion and have this project done within at least 2 years. Another good project that we're working on is the 201 Facility Planning Area Modification Project. This project is essentially looking at our 201 boundaries, and those are, if you've ever seen our 201 area maps, they're the red boundaries that encompass a certain area, and inside that area, the parcels or the residents, the industries inside that area is defined where their waste flows. So if you are within the city of Youngstown's 201 facility planning area, any waste within that red boundary, goes to the city of Youngstown's wastewater treatment plant. So what we have found in the past is that our 208 plan, which the 201 is a component of, has not been used as a planning tool as it was designed to be. So we have seen many parcels split between two boundaries. And so what we want to do is we want to spot check our parcels within our two counties and make sure that if they are serviced by sanitary sewer, we want to make sure that that parcel is represented under the appropriate 201 area. So we have hired MS consultants. We went through a process, hired MS consultants to implement this project for us. And we are going to do this in 2 phases. So the first phase was a groundwork building. We collected GIS data from both counties and a survey, which you can see on the screen over there on the right-hand side. A survey was sent out to the management agencies, which would be the city of Struthers, the city of Warren, Hubbard. Anybody who has a public wastewater treatment plant has received these surveys, and we're waiting to get information back so that we can use that information for our second phase. Now, the second phase is our capacity evaluation, coordination, and then updating the 201 boundaries. So you can see in the map on the right-hand side, that is a map of the Deal Lake facility planning area. That is an area over in Mahoning County. And what's interesting about this 201 boundary is that it's actually within a larger 201 boundary, so which you don't see in this map. But this was small enough to use as an example. Before, this map never looked like this. Now, what I did was I went in over the past year and redrew this map along with coordinating it with the Mahoning County Sanitary Engineer's Office to make sure that we got every parcel that we knew, one, that was serviced by sanitary sewer, And two, how far outside of the current existing lines could this area expand without compromising capacity at the Deal Lake wastewater treatment plant? So that's what phase two is going to do. It's going to take in census information. It's going to review any comprehensive plans or relevant planning documents that are within our communities and identify any type of limitations, whether it's capacity issues, whether things are uh, meeting Ohio EPA NPDES permits, which is that permit to discharge into a local stream, or is there areas within the 201 boundary where stormwater is infiltrating into the sanitary sewer system and taking up capacity? So when we do have those types of issues, the wastewater treatment plants are reaching capacity quicker than they were intended to because stormwater is leaching into the system at some point. So that's not what a wastewater treatment plant is intended to take on. So we're having MS look at all of that. Another thing that benefit that is coming out of this again is that parcel level modification. So these parcels, these 201 boundaries are so important for the Ohio EPA to have accuracy because when an entity is applying for a permit to install for sanitary sewer expansion and or wastewater treatment plant expansions, they need to look at these maps to make sure that it conforms with our area-wide plan. So they're going to look at that project and make sure that the consultant or whomever is applying for the PTI has identified the correct wastewater treatment plant that waste would be shipped to. So we want to make sure that we have these parcels within the correct 201 boundary. There have been times in the past where we've had a large parcel that is split in half, and there really is no rhyme or reason as to why these parcels, or I'm sorry, why these boundaries were developed in the first place. So we want to make sure that we don't have any questions with regards to whether a back half of the parcel belongs in 1201 versus the front half. We want to make sure that both of them are in 1201 FPA. Then a next byproduct of this project, and probably the last one, is update the treatment prescription language within the 201 boundary. So you can see that there's a couple colors in that boundary. Yellow means that that area has sanitary sewer and is being serviced by a wastewater treatment plant. Orange are those areas where sewer is going to be extended, but at a certain point in time. So it's up to the management agency, and in this case, Mahoney County Sanitary Engineer's Office, to determine what that time frame looks like. All of those areas in green, those are parcels that are serviced by off-site or on-site non-discharging septic systems. So and you can see that we still have to work on the colors because that orange area is a little wonky, and you can tell that parcels up front, the frontage is, to be sewered, but the back end shows that it's serviced by an on-site non-discharging septic system. So before I go into questions, there's one other thing coming up. We have a Clean Ohio round for this program year is already underway. We have about little less than 3.2 million available for nonprofits and eligible entities to apply for Clean Ohio. Our applications are going to be due on September 11th at 3 p.m. and all applications are turned in electronically. And our District 6 NRAC members will be meeting shortly thereafter on September 23rd to review those applications that we received to make sure that they are eligible entities. So, but with that, I will take any questions if anybody has any.
Stephanie, I have a quick question. Has nothing
Yes.
to do with your presentation, but is there any regs coming down from Washington D.C. that's impacting or changing some of the what we do around here, or some of the regulations at the local or statewide level?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as EPA water quality
Yes.
regulations, I have not heard anything.
Because we see they're lax in certain regulations, not just for water, but for other,
Mhm.
whether it be air or water or land. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything. The Ohio EPA hasn't passed anything along to us.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? As always, thank you so much, Stephanie, for coming in and spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's my pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
all right, Joey, you want to review some of the important parts of the TAC meeting, this morning's TAC meeting?
Yeah, of course. So Justin was not able to be in today, so he asked me to go ahead and share this portion. So I agreed to do it. So today's TAC was kind of a stacked agenda. We haven't had any recently, so quite a few things to go over. First of all, Grant and I went over Eastgate's new camera equipment, which for those of you who are not aware, we do have a new 360-degree camera. So similar to what Google uses for their street view, you go down, take either photo or video, it shows everything around you, and you can, once the video recording is finished, go on the computer and see everything. So we went over that and looked for some different uses and let the communities know that if they have some uses, to reach out to Grant or I. Following Grant and I's presentation, Ed went over the OPWC upcoming pre-apps and District 6 meeting. There is a new round of funding coming up. Last year, there was 9.6 million allocated in grant funding, and Ed said that that will go up a little bit. There was 4.5 million in loan funding allocated, which was part allocation and part balance. He didn't say if that will go up or down or not, but he did mention that pre-applications are due on September 9th. Following Ed's presentation, Tricia went over her statewide commuter challenge, which will be occurring September 14th through the 27th. We've been posting some things about the commuter challenge through our social media, through email. We've been passing out some flyers to local areas and businesses. There is a grand prize of $200 this year, with about $500 in prizes being given out to various winners. Following that was Stephanie's presentation that she just gave. And then following Stephanie was Kathy with the Appalachian Regional Commission fiscal year 2027 pre-app priority summary. Kathy explained GPV resolution number 021-2026. She also went over the summary of all applications received this year. 15 apps were evaluated, scored, and ranked. Kathy mentioned that we are anticipating receiving $1.4 million in funding for the 3 counties, which does include Ashtabula County. There's a decrease of a small amount, which there's usually $1.5 to $2 million allocated. Of the 8 recommended projects, Eastgate was able to fund at least 2 projects from the 3 counties. So that was a very good thing about her presentation today. Following Kathy was Jeff with an update on our Eastgate's traffic counting status. All of the original OPWC traffic counts have been completed with the exception of a few that needed to be completed during school year. Those ones will be completed here towards the end of the month when all of the schools are back in session. Following Jeff's update, Krista gave an update on the housing development suitability analysis request for proposal. The RFP is currently out on the website and it's due August 12th. All of the information about that RFP can be found on the website. Following that, Myrta gave a transit update. There are various events held surrounding transit this past couple months. Notably, the groundbreaking at the WRTA bus barn. The bus barn is over 100 years old and in desperate need of a reconstruction, and WRTA just broke ground on a new bus barn. Also, there was a FTA meeting held at WRTA within the past month, and Following that, or excuse me, following Murda's, Jim gave an executive director report, mainly focusing around Eastgate's construction in the office, which I will get to pictures because I did take some photos today. And he did make sure to mention that next month's General Policy Board meeting will be in person. The construction is expected to be finished around the end of this month, and we're expecting the next months to be in person, and then same with the TAC and Citizens Advisory Board the following month to be in person again. Jim also gave an update on the Trumbull County 8304 feasibility study. It was determined that the 8062 interchange is more of a suitable interchange to be studying than putting a new one at 80 and 304. So Jim just went over the changes to the focus on that project, and there will be a review of the current interchange that exists rather than the construction of a new one. Following that, there was open discussion, and Bob Durbin of the Mahoning County Engineer mentioned that the Western Reserve project is nearly complete. He was hoping it would be complete by this meeting, but they are waiting on a railroad to cross on their widening. But the project will be complete and closed out after that. The Glenwood project did begin this weekend, he mentioned, and also that the North Jackson roundabout is about 3/4 of the way finished and should meet the deadline. And that is a review of the Technical Advisory Committee. Now let me continue sharing, and I'll show some pictures of our office. I don't know. You able to see the pictures?
Not yet.
Did it pop up?
I don't see them yet.
Not yet.
Okay, let me do this. How about now?
It
Any
says
luck?
loading content, so maybe in a minute we'll have the photos.
Okay.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Wait for it.
If not, we can just skip past this. Just wanted to show off some of the
you
reasons we're
go.
not in person this month. All right, so are you all able to see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the elevator lobby as it currently stands. This photo was taken about 2 p.m. today. As you can see, some patches on the walls. There's no floor. The front door, you might be able to see, has been changed slightly. This is the staff break room, which is currently being renovated as it was very outdated. And let's see. This is probably the most exciting portion of the renovation. This is what is going to be a kind of waiting room / collaboration area in the front of the office. And there will be some booths in this section with tables and some various seating options over here with a TV on this wall to display different things that we determined to put up there. So this is kind of what we're excited about. We've been looking for a way to have people have some comfort in our office without just having to go take a phone call in the hallway or in another conference room. They'll have some room to take it in here without feeling, discomfort. So office is coming along pretty well. It feels like there have been a lot more things done this past couple of weeks than there have been the whole time. So we're excited. We're excited to get back into the office and show everybody our new space.
Joe, do you have anything on the new direction of where they're going? You said that they, on the interchange for 304, we're going to
Yeah.
sit on that and maybe repurpose or reform something up around the Route 7 area?
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the area, the US 62 interchange with Interstate 80 in Hubbard Township, which is the first interchange in Ohio coming from Pennsylvania. It's kind of a jumbled mess. If you look at an aerial photography of it, it looks like spaghetti. There's alignment issues, which cause traffic problems, specifically with semi trucks going to the various gas stations. And it was determined with the 8304 study that we should probably move our focus to improving that interchange rather than building a new one. So with that, looking at different ways to improve the interchange to help flow better, to help not cause traffic backups, to not cause safety issues. We're just going to focus more on that rather than creating a new interchange.
Okay. Any other questions for Joey? All right, thank you. As Joey said, the second Monday in September is the next General Policy Board meeting. It'll be at 10 o'clock. Our CAB representatives for Mahoning and Trumbull counties, when Justin comes back next week, we gotta begin hooking up with him to brief our representatives for that meeting. One item to note is that beginning at our October 1st meeting, we're going to start the application process and the voting process for our next year's officers and for membership. With that going, we have 3 resolutions for review and approval. The very first one has to do with Stephanie's presentation with the former Valley Mole Dam in Yankee Run Creek in Hubbard. Does anybody have any questions for Stephanie on that? And we'll have a vote on that. In fact, we're not going to have a vote. Justin's going to put out the approvals for this when he gets back. He told me not to vote on it. So we'll just review that. Does anybody have any questions for Stephanie on that one? Okay. The second resolution has to do with the Appalachian Regional Commission money. As Joey said, there was 8 projects. This has to do with the support fiscally critical infrastructure and workforce development in the 3-county region. This time, especially workforce development, we think that we have 8 very strong projects that we recommend for state approval and funding. Does anybody have any questions about those? The 2 pages following the resolution gives an update in the scoring for such projects. Hearing none. The last resolution has to deal with, Joey, you want to go over that?
I was going to, but I actually saw that Stephen from our office was here, and that's his resolution. So he's going to go ahead and give an update on what that is.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, sure. I guess Joey's just ignoring my text where I said, yeah, you can do it, but I'll step in. Yeah, so resolution number 2022 or number 22. So ODOT every 2 years has to put out performance targets to try to improve our travel. It's set towards improving the pavement condition rating, which is the condition of the roadway, the bridge ratings, then travel time reliability. If you made the same trip 1,000 times, how reliable is the timing that it should take you to get there? And then emission reductions. So ODOT puts a lot of effort into it, creates these targets, shoots for a 2% reduction across the entire national highway system. Then us as Eastgate, as the MPO, we have 2 options. We can either adopt their targets that they put all this time and effort into and all their background and knowledge, or we can reinvent the wheel and create our own. Clearly, we are adopting their targets here. So that's what that resolution is. It's adopting ODOT's targets, essentially saying that the projects that Joey programs through the TIP, we're aiming to improve the travel time reliability. We're aiming to improve the condition of the roadway, the bridges, with every project that we commit funding to. So that's what that one is. It's something that we would have done one 2 years ago. And for the time being, we'll continue to do it every 2 years. But that's what it is. And we're adopting the targets of the experts in ODOT and what they put together.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Stephen? All right, hearing none. Any comments, any announcements, or anything for open discussion?
I'll make a quick comment. I think Joey did a really good job. Justin better watch his back. Coming for his job here.
I'll always be here to get Justin's back, but I won't take over his role until he's ready to give it up.
We'll pass that along in a sly way.
Yeah, you didn't
All
say
right.
no.
Hearing no other comments, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great and safe Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you in 5 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.